What's going on, y'all? Elliot here with MovieFiles, about to head into my screening of Caught Stealing. This is the new Darren Aronofsky film starring Austin Butler, Zoë Kravitz, Matt Smith, and many other great actors that I'm a fan of, which, speaking of being a fan of people, I am a Darren Aronofsky fan. I mean, he came out of the gate early in his career with Pie and Requiem of a Dream, and then he had that stretch where he did The Wrestler and Black Swan, and then in 2022 he did The Whale. So those are heavy films as far as the genres and what he's tackling, and this seems to be a little bit different. Based on the one trailer I've seen, this is like a crime thriller with a little bit of comedy, a little bit of levity with Austin Butler. So I'm excited, man. I've heard from the earlier screenings this year and even in the last few weeks that it's kind of a mixed bag, but we'll see what I think about it. I'm gonna let y'all know if it's worth checking out on the other side. So fingers crossed. You know, Caught Stealing was a pretty solid movie. I really wanted to love the film, especially the way it kind of starts off, but as we'll kind of go in and out of the positives and negatives, for the most part, I enjoyed it. Now, starting off up top with the things I really enjoyed, as I talked about before I saw it, I figured the cast would come together and be pretty entertaining and enjoyable. That is 100% the case. I think at this point, he has proven to me, I'm speaking of Austin Butler, the lead of this film, plays Hank, I believe his name, Hank. He is a phenomenal actor, man. Like, he plays... It's so weird. He kind of plays against the typecast, so you would think he's like the leading man that can take care of anything, but he's pretty vulnerable in this movie, and it shows a different side of Austin Butler from what we've seen even from like Dune 2. So I thought Austin really carried this film. I thought, Zoë Kravitz, who I've been a fan of, she's really great. The standouts for me, man, and not in it as much as I wish they would, but Liev Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio. That is it's one of those situations where they're so good you would want to see like more like a spinoff if that was possible. They are really great in this film, but the entire cast is really great. Regina King, who I totally forgot she was in this, huge Regina King fan. I really liked what they do with her character. So performance-wise, man, everyone really kind of brought their A game. I really like the tone of this movie because I will say Darren Aronofsky, this is kind of out of his bag, which is kind of a negative of mine that I'll talk about later, but I like the tone. It's gritty. It's a little bit more violent than I was anticipating, and I like how the film really kicks things off. And it brought me in. I was really leaning into the narrative that we were going with. At a certain point, I kind of didn't, which might sound bad, but it kind of lost me as we kind of went along. The story became a little bit thinner and thinner and thinner. But again, the performances, the tone, the violence that I didn't anticipate was really surprising. Things that didn't work, this, again, knowing Darren's work, Requiem of a Dream, The Wrestler, Black Swan, like most recently The Whale, the man does heavy dramas, and he's trying to implement some of that flavor that he's used to, but at the same time, he's trying to make like a Guy Ritchie movie. Like, this is the way I think of like how like Matt Reeves was like paying homage to like Seven and like those David Fincher type of narratives. This almost felt like Darren Aronofsky was like paying homage to like a Guy Ritchie / Edgar Wright type of film. Like, it is very pop, punk rock, UK type of flavor that he was trying to play into. And I think he's too serious of a director to really play into those sensibilities and really go wild. But like in the hands of a Guy Ritchie, I think this film would have been even better. But again, I thought Darren did something new. It's not always going to be perfect when you do something new that's out of your comfort zone. But the story, like I kind of mentioned, lost me towards the end. At a certain point, I'm just like, this is kind of losing momentum, kind of losing steam. And like, what is the end game that we're going to get into once we get to that certain point? So it didn't really stick the landing as we went further into the narrative. But outside of that, it's a fun movie. Again, this feels like Darren... This is one of those situations where I feel like a director does something out of their comfort zone before they do something that they're really comfortable with. So, like, this is like showing his directing chops, showing his style to a certain extent, and then he's going to go back to do something like, Requiem of a Dream 2, something really heavy in drama. So, and I'm not mad at that. I like when directors switch it up, but I don't think this is his lane per se. But hey, maybe this can be the starting point to more of these type of films. So, to answer the question, is this good? Yes. Is it great? Not necessarily, but that's okay. I don't think everything has to be a 5 out of 5, a 10 out of 10, an A+. Sometimes we can have a solid, I'm at a 3.5, I would say, because I really like the performances. I give it 3.5 out of 5, and I think it's worth checking out, do you have to run out to the theaters to see this? Not necessarily, but it is something I would say is worth your time, whether it is on a matinee or when it is available in streaming in a month or two. But again, we advocate theater experiences, so I would say it's worth the price of admission on like a matinee special. But Caught Stealing, 3.5 out of 5 for me. Let me know what you all thought of it once you've seen it. The good, the bad, the ugly. What worked, what didn't work. If you're a Darren Aronofsky fan like I am, what's your favorite film of his? And what do you think about Austin Butler? Is he the next guy in Hollywood? I think he is, but what do you think about that? Let's talk about it in the comments below. As always, I appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed my commentary, and I'll be back pretty soon with more reviews. It's almost that time of the year where movie after movie, I'm covering a film festival next month, so a lot of fun stuff coming soon on top of my TV reviews. So you all stay safe, and I'll catch you all on the next video.